I interviewed 5 Amazon sellers to share what they know about finding products to sell on Amazon. Stay tuned to learn how to buy items for less.
The more boring, the better. We're doing a lot of boring products, and not as many people are looking for stuff like that. Works out a lot better long term. Now we really only look at stuff that has like higher ASPs. Some stuff, obviously, like if the margin's there, like we're gonna buy something that has a $15 ASP if I'm getting it for $3. Like just there's no reason not to if the margin's there. But the majority of the stuff that we're getting is higher ASP. I think our ASPs right now is 80 to 90, which is very high for wholesale. A lot of wholesale people I know are like 20, 15 or lower. I've seen some in like $12 to $14 range. So we're trying to focus on the higher ASPs. That also really helps when it comes to these new fees that Amazon's adding, like the placement fees or the low-level inventory fees. That $1 isn't really going to affect us like it's going to affect a seller who's buying something for $2, selling it for $9 and only making $1.50. That completely kills their margin. But for me, if I'm selling something for 90 and I'm making 20 bucks, it's like, it's not really affecting us very much. Taking that approach has been really, really important for us. And it also helps us scale up to bigger numbers without having as big of a SKU count. The shoes that are more expensive always had a higher return rate. So like Hoka, On Cloud, all those types of shoes always were like ridiculously high return rates for us. We cut those out of our business pretty quick. Like we were mainly doing Nike and Converse, and the sweet spot was like $60 to $80 at the sale price. And that I feel like doesn't get a lot of returns. And it's not too cheap to where you're like not making a great profit margin, but it's to the price where people don't really feel like they have to return it if it doesn't fit them, but it's not like too cheap to where like I'm only making $7 a shoe. So I'm able to make like 15 a pair, and it's also not the highest return rate. For that range, we found the return rate to be like 10 to 12%. And that was okay with us as long as we're making 30% ROI or more.
What are kind of areas that you might want to be focusing on during the Q4 period, or areas, should we say?
So for me, what I really like to do is, those are great categories, but I usually just go through what I've sold throughout the year because most of the stuff is now profitable again. All the stores are running sales on the stuff. So it's a great time to like pick up all those things that like tanked really hard or are now profitable again and kind of go through that. So that's always my strategy. I'll look through what I bought last Q4. That is one of the biggest strategies I use. You always say shop the sale before it happens. You're going to hear, oh, like the Black Friday deals, like Walmart is going to be doing XYZ. So like go through and pretend the sale is today. Like pretend to purchase things like 40, 50% off. This way, when the sale happens, you're putting stuff in your shopping cart, you're checking out, or the next guy is just getting to Walmart and is like, oh, like what should I buy? So you're like 10 steps ahead of like everyone else. You're getting the stuff like delivered to you, and they're just kind of like checking out and kind of figuring it out. So I think that's a really great approach to take.
Evergreen products versus seasonal products. You know, Q4's got a lot of seasonal things. Advent calendars. I've done videos on that and flipped them from Amazon. Like, what do you do in that respect?
So for me, yeah, I'm doing a lot of replens, and then I love meltables. So meltables are basically anything that melts, like chocolates or candies, some gummy stuff. There's actually a lot of vitamins as well that are considered meltables. I'm not really sure how or why that is the case, but I think those are really great opportunities just because they're more tricky for most beginners because they're going to be scared. You're going to see the keep it chart and there's going to be like no sales because there's no inventory at Amazon because you're not allowed to send meltable stuff in. So I feel like I love meltables. Everyone's buying candy. They're bringing it to work. They're doing all that kind of stuff. So I really like that. I love Legos. I don't know. There's something about buying and selling Legos that I just really like. Yeah. So it's basically, I love kind of the toys, the Legos, the meltables. And there's just so much, there's always going to be probably, I would say like between 10 and 50 things that are just going to be really hot. That's like hard to get. And the prices are going to be like really high on Amazon. So you always want to be on the lookout for that. But I don't really do too much speculating on like what's going to be hot. I'm just really selling things that are fast. I'm looking at the keep it charts from like last December, seeing like, was there a price spike in this Lego set, or what kind of happened, or did it fall off? And I'm looking at data from last year from stuff I bought. Stuff you bought last year, that was one of the biggest advantages doing last Q4 is what I had a Q4 before that. I was like, oh my God, this is so easy. Like pretty much all the stuff I bought last year, I could buy again this year. And that feels like a huge void. And then you could just be on the lookout for those like crazy opportunities and take advantage of those, because like you're in really good shape because you have this whole list of stuff that you could buy.
I pretty much assume that all deals are always active. So for example, Walgreens has on Walgreens, they have a buy one, get one, or buy one, get one 50% off sometimes. And on top of that, they have a 20% hidden coupon a lot of the times. I always assume that deal is active, and I source that way. My VA sources that way. And so I have a very specific niche. I won't really say what the niche is, but it's just basically just one avenue that I go down, and I just hammer that one thing. And so about 4 or 5 months in, when I kind of figured that out and that niche started working really well with me, I just dug into it even deeper, hired a VA, taught it to a VA, and honestly, the VA, after time, she started teaching me things because I developed the strategy, but then she did develop it even further on her own, not even realizing it. And so it was kind of like I'm not an evil genius by any means. She has a lot of credit in this as well because she was doing all the sourcing. I just kind of gave her like, hey, this is exactly how you need to start, and she took that and ran with it. And she was like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do here because I've had a job for 5 years with like 3 different people, and none of them have told me to even source anything like this. I have no idea what you're talking about. And so getting her to like understand the idea behind what she was supposed to do at the beginning was difficult, but once she understood it and like I kind of figured that process out, it was kind of like to the moon from there.
I think you've gone like a niche within a niche within a niche and like really gone into the detail of it. Like, why have you done that? Like, surely you're shoeboxing yourself into a small area that you're just missing out on opportunities.
There's only probably a couple people do what I do when it comes to selling, and I see their stores on a regular basis. And so we kind of like, I don't know who they are, but I would love to. But the reason I've kind of gone through the niche of the niche, if you will, is because it's easier to make money in a very small part of the internet that other people aren't, where there's no competition. So I think everybody should always start off with just the basic, storefront stalking method when they're first starting out, because you have no idea what that niche is. You have to figure out that niche. What is it? Is it shoes? Is it apparel, which just kind of goes hand in hand? Is it sports and outdoors? Is it health? Is it beauty? What is it? Once you kind of figure that out, I think you should kind of attack that one niche, because there's so much profit to be made in one niche that you should really never have to ever switch. Like, you should be able to do 30, 40, 50 million a year in one niche and be able to freaking kill it. Like, there's all these other online arbitrage sellers doing it in one niches, and if you could be excellent in one thing or mediocre in a bunch of things, why would you only be why would you choose the mediocre part?
Grocery and household, or beauty and household, I did those 3 kind of. Those are just like you can get, so like if you don't have a prep center, they're usually like the most ideal categories because you can get them for under $20, $30 like sales price, and they're the easiest to get ungated as well. You can go to Frontier Co-op and just get all 3 in one invoice and just get it ungated right away. So I got ungated for like $70 maybe, and yeah, I just thought grocery was the easiest to source starting out. Also, ungating in certain brands wasn't a problem because they pretty much, once you get the category ungated, all the brands are ungated for the most part in grocery. And yeah, beauty, very fast moving category. So I just kind of I was like, all right, these are really selling quick. Like, we're just going to keep buying more of them. So yeah. And then household's the same way. It's very fast moving category as well.
Why do you do 3 categories? Why not just focus on one? Like, we were talking off air, we know a big seller who's doing like 10 million just on sneakers. So why spread yourself out? Why not niche down?
I think, well, nowadays my category is mostly beauty and household. I think the 2 kind of just go together. If I find another category, it's not like I'm not going to buy it with the team I have. Like, they're not only going to source beauty and household. Obviously, they have like preferences, but I don't know. I think they all go together. Like grocery, beauty, household. You're buying something for a home. It's pretty much the same thing. Whereas like learning apparel and other stuff is more of a different kind of challenge. It's a different niche in a sense. So I don't know. I found they just go together. The data was pretty much the same. The sources also are if like you're buying from Walmart, you can buy all 3 categories at Walmart. Maybe not beauty so much, but those 2, household and grocery, at the same store.
What percentage of your stock would come from things like leads lists? What would come from like you manually sourcing yourself? And like what percentage would come from like the deals shared with your, friends?
So the majority of things that I purchase, it's things that I've manually sourced before and just sat down and kind of went one by one on a web page to try to find like 3 packs, 4 packs, 12 packs, 8 packs. It's a small percentage of things that I buy from other people and leads list. Sometimes leads lists give me, clues of sales that are going on. I couldn't accurately tell you a percentage of that, but I do send about 30 or 40% of my inventory to a prep center for them to prep, and I'm slowly trying to integrate more and more of that. But it's just like with small and light stuff, it's hard to, it doesn't make sense financially to do that. But, I would say probably 80% of what I buy is from me looking and finding stuff myself.
Don't just take the prices you currently see. Do make sure you combine them with cashback websites. Top Cashback is a really good example. Rakuten is another good example. You can even use cashback credit cards like Amex, all the Chase cards that are going to help you, gift codes or voucher codes that are going to help you. And then on top of that, if you're really playing the game to a higher level, think about coupon cards, discount cards, like Discount Wiki can help you out to understand that actually you can buy $100, $200 of Walmart credit for only $190. This is going to save you cash and mean that these products are far more profitable. If you liked this video, give me a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below for more Amazon related videos. I'm Thomas Parkinson from FastTrackFBA, and thank you very much.